At the head of a broad avenue in St. Paul, Minnesota, rises a great fortress of dark red stone, the largest and most costly home ever raised in the state. Its heavy arches, carved turrets, and rugged walls speak of a fortune built from steel and steam, for this was the house of a railroad king, the man they called the Empire Builder. Behind its rusticated stone wait a grand carved staircase, richly paneled halls, an art gallery, and a great pipe organ, every luxury the Gilded Age could offer under a single roof. Welcome to the James J. Hill House. We are on Summit Avenue in St. Paul, Minnesota, where the land rises above the city and looks out over the broad valley of the Mississippi River. This is the crown of the old Capitol, a long ridge lined with the grand mansions of a bygone age, and near its head stands the greatest of them all. Below, the river winds through its wide valley, and the twin cities spread across the plain, while here on the bluff the stately homes of Summit Avenue keep watch over it all, as they have for well more than a century. Before us rises the mansion itself, a vast and rugged pile of dark red sandstone that seems less a house than a stronghold. 3 stories tall and stretching on for room after room, it presents a long facade of heavy arched windows, deep-set doorways, and carved stone worked with patient craft. When it was finished, it was by far the largest and most expensive home in all of Minnesota, and even today its sheer bulk and weight astonish the eye. It was built to endure for ages, a monument in stone to one man's extraordinary rise. The great house stands at the head of Summit Avenue, one of the most famous streets in America. For miles, the avenue runs along the bluff, lined on either side with a long, unbroken row of Victorian mansions, one of the finest preserved streets of its kind anywhere in the country. Here, above the river valley, the wealthy families of St. Paul raised their grand homes in stone and brick, each grander than the last. Of all these proud houses, none commands the avenue like the mansion at its head, the largest jewel in a long and storied crown. The house was built for James J. Hill, one of the towering figures of the American Gilded Age. He had come from humble beginnings and risen, through iron will and relentless work, to command a railroad empire that reached across half a continent. From a study lined with maps and ledgers, he directed the movement of freight and rails across the northern plains, shaping the growth of the entire upper Midwest. By the time this mansion rose, he was among the richest and most powerful men in the nation, and his name was spoken across the whole American frontier. The source of that vast fortune was the railroad. Hill built and controlled the Great Northern Railway, a mighty line that pushed its rails across the northern tier of the country. Where once there had been only open prairie, his locomotives now hauled grain, timber, ore, and settlers along gleaming ribbons of steel. The Great Northern became one of the great transcontinental railroads, binding distant territories to the markets of the world, and every mile of track laid down added to the wealth that would one day be poured into stone on Summit Avenue. For this achievement, Hill earned an enduring name, the Empire Builder. His railway reached ever westward, threading the plains and crossing the mountains to link the upper Midwest with the far ports of the Pacific Northwest. Along its route, towns sprang up, farms were broken, and whole regions were drawn into the life of the growing nation. He built not merely a railroad, but a corridor of settlement and commerce that opened a vast country, and the title Empire Builder followed his name ever after, a fitting measure of the world he helped to make. Near the close of the 1800s, at the height of his fortune, Hill set out to build a home worthy of his standing. Completed around the year 1891, the mansion consumed a fortune and the labor of countless skilled hands. Masons dressed the heavy red stone, carvers worked the ornament, and craftsmen fitted the rich interiors room by room. When at last it was done, it stood as the costliest and most ambitious private house the state had ever seen, a Gilded Age palace raised on the bluffs of St. Paul. The house was raised in the heavy, rugged style known as Richardsonian Romanesque, then at the peak of fashion for the great and the powerful. Its walls are built of massive rough-cut blocks of dark red sandstone, its openings spanned by wide semicircular arches, its roofline broken by turrets and carved stone detail. Everything about it speaks of solidity and permanence, of a strength meant to outlast the centuries. In the deep shadows of its arches and the rough grain of its stone, the mansion wears the very look of enduring power. We enter beneath a great arched doorway of carved stone, passing from the light of the avenue into the hushed grandeur within. The entrance hall opens rich and dim, paneled in dark polished wood, its surfaces worked with fine ornament and warmed by the glow of stained glass. Here the visitor first felt the full weight of the house, its scale, its craftsmanship, its quiet declaration of wealth. Every detail, from the carved woodwork to the fitted stone, was made to impress upon all who entered the standing of the man who lived within. Before us rises the crowning glory of the interior, a great carved staircase sweeping upward through the heart of the house. Broad treads of dark polished wood turn and climb beneath tall windows of colored glass, the whole framed by richly worked balustrades and paneling. Light falls softly from above onto the burnished timber, and the eye is drawn up and up through the levels of the mansion. It is a staircase built for grand descent and grander occasion, the ceremonial spine around which the whole great house is arranged. Beyond the stair, the mansion opens into hall after hall, more than 40 rooms in all, each finished with the finest materials the age could provide. Walls of carved oak and mahogany glow with deep warm color, and coffered ceilings, carved mantels, and countless fireplaces adorn the great chambers. Here were the drawing room and dining room, the library and the music room, ranged one beyond another in stately procession. To pass through these paneled halls is to move through the very heart of Gilded Age splendor, room upon room of quiet, costly magnificence. Among the grandest of these chambers is the art gallery, the largest and most richly finished room in the entire house. Beneath a high skylight, the long hall opens wide, its walls once hung with a costly collection of paintings and sculpture gathered from across the world. Here the family displayed the treasures of a great fortune, canvases of landscape and figures of carved stone, arranged as in a private museum. Softly lit from above, the gallery stands as the finest expression of the taste and ambition of its age. Art and architecture joined beneath one grand roof. Rising within the house is one of its greatest wonders, a mighty pipe organ that soars for stories through the heart of the mansion, its ranks of gleaming pipes voiced to fill the halls with music. Around it, the house was fitted with every modern convenience of its day, marvels of comfort and craft far ahead of their time. Behind the ancient look of its stone walls, the mansion was in truth one of the most advanced homes of its era, joining the grandeur of the old world with the newest inventions of the new. The James J. Hill House stands as one of the grandest surviving monuments of the American Gilded Age, a time when railroad fortunes raised palaces of stone across the land. Long after its builder was gone, the great mansion escaped the fate of so many such houses and was carefully preserved. Today it is kept as a historic site, its halls and gallery and great staircase opened once more, so that all may come to see how a railroad king lived at the height of his power. At the head of Summit Avenue it endures, a fortress of red stone guarding the memory of an age. A fortress of dark red stone at the head of a famous avenue, a great carved staircase and paneled halls, an art gallery and a soaring organ, all raised from the fortune of the empire builder. For well over a century, the James J. Hill House has crowned the bluffs of St. Paul, the grandest home the state has ever known, and it stands there still. Thank you for watching. Follow for more interesting people, places, and things we cover on the channel.